Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here. So I was worried that I was gonna wake up to some big dramatic announcement from The Sims that was going to have the community be in even more chaos than it already is. But actually, we just got the laundry list. You know what? That's fine. I can work with that. So we got a very long laundry list. So interesting start off to 2026 for The Sims here. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so the top 5 most voted fixes that they're addressing. There's an error while uploading to the gallery/library, primarily a console issue, but it could occur on PC too. And they fixed the flows that is more forgiving to player systems and far less likely to occur. The upload button will not be available until all thumbnail issues have been generated. And when the error does happen, now there's actually more clarification on what actually happened. So it'll say timeout during upload. Please check internet connection or try again in a minute. Next thing is that they are fully resolving the privacy mosaic issue where there was still clothing that you could see underneath it. They fixed it for most of the age groups last time, but now they are finishing that off with the remaining age groups. They fixed a notable instance of Sims standing around and not caring for their infants. While holding infants, Sims were playing an idle animation that delayed responsiveness to queued interactions, and this idle has been removed, so they hope to further address additional infant issues in future updates. Fixed an issue where memorial portraits and graduation photos would no longer display a Sim's image and appear blank. The fix does not address portraits and photos that were already broken, but will work on old saves for future gameplay with these objects, including the university and life and death. And then household, small business, employed Sims will no longer receive a miss work/school UI pop-up when opening a small business while the Sim is at the work/school rabbit hole. Multiple packs. Save corruption. As part of our ongoing efforts, we have 2 save corruption bugs that we're addressing in this patch. We fixed an issue where open street objects were being shelved and never removed when traveling to an apartment building. Oh, okay. I think this was the one that they fixed it sort of, but not completely, because the objects were turning invisible instead of being deleted. Yeah, this is it. Okay. Yeah, things like food, snow globes, bikes, piles of leaves, rainbow spawner, boats. Okay, so that's good. They're finally fixing that fully. We fixed the case of save corruption where the player could become stuck in an endless load or be returned to manage world after setting a custom venue schedule to include a romantic orientation role criteria with adventure awaits. And then photos/paintings losing data. Wow, this is a whole section? Okay, so for this patch, we knew that memorial portraits and graduation photos no longer displaying a Sim's image was a top community concern. Wanted to address as many bugs in this category as we could. Here are all related issues fixed. Paint by reference paintings will no longer turn white after they've been put in a Sim's inventory and game has been relaunched. The fix is retroactive and should be fixed in previous saves where it occurred. Then photos captured with phone/camera will no longer turn black once they've been mounted on a wall and the game is relaunched. Fix is not retroactive and will not address instances where photos were already missing data, but the fix will prevent this from happening in the future, even in old saves. Photos captured with phone/camera will no longer turn black once they be put in a Sim's inventory or placed in storage chests and the game is relaunched. Fix is not retroactive, but yeah, it'll happen no longer in old saves and just from happening in the future. Create copy interaction on a painting no longer will result in a blank white painting canvas when placed on the wall. Fix is retroactive and should be fixed in previous saves where it occurred. Celebrity autographs will no longer appear blank after they've been hung on a wall and the game's relaunched. Fix is not retroactive and will not address instances where photos were already missing data. But again, yeah, the fix will prevent future possible cases from happening. Wow, I actually didn't know that even the celebrity autographs were being affected, but yeah, I guess that's not shocking. As noted in the above top 5 fixes, fix an issue where memorial portraits and graduation photos will no longer display Sim's image and appear blank. Okay, yeah, already heard that one. So now available, create a sim items for instances where cast items were being hidden from players, so you'll now have them available for your enjoyment. So there's this double Dutch braid light brown now properly appears brown rather than being an exact copy of the light blonde variant from Adventure Awaits. And then this logo navy rash guard variant's no longer missing. Adventure Awaits for the children. And then this medium bangs hair and all variants are now also available for child sims from the Horse Ranch expansion. Okay, that's cool. And while investigating an issue with the toddler makeup category, they unlocked an Enchanted by Nature face paint that was hidden for some reason. And then general bug fixes, some important issues that were quickly rising, particularly problematic or easy fixes to get in. So base game addressed a rather significant issue where away actions at work were causing Sims to never receive need gains while at work or school due to a change that was made during Adventure Awaits to how away actions at work function. Fixed additional bug pertaining to this where toddler and infant needs will now increase while at daycare properly. Bladder, hunger, energy, attention should receive large increases. Fun a small but tapering increase, and no hygiene increase. Okay. For season, Sims will no longer sometimes die of overheating while wearing the correct clothing. Blame the ghost. This bug was due to the overheating ghost type and the aura they emanate. In a previous patch, we addressed an issue where sand sculptures were auto-generating on beaches when it rained a lot. We're submitting the remaining portions of this fix to ensure it's now fully fixed in all cases. Growing Together addressed an issue where it was difficult to unlock the pull to stand milestone. Problem is, the infants need to be near certain specific objects to pull themselves up for the first time. But this is never indicated to the player, and sometimes infants aren't located near these objects. They can still unlock this milestone as they could previously, but to address the concerns with this not being obvious in many cases, we've added a grayed out interaction and hover tip that directs the player to place the infant in the crib. While in the crib, the infant can pull themselves to a stand. And as an additional option, we've added a new interaction to infant sims in the crib to pull themselves up once they're ready to unlock the milestone. Interaction is available on the infant sim when the infant is the active sim. Oh, okay, yeah, I see the grayed out version there. The attempt to pull the stand while in the crib. Okay. Businesses and hobbies fix an issue where small business employees were leaving early, only 2 to 3 hours after opening. If a business was a 5-star and selected customer criteria was supervised customer only, now all hired employees should stay on a small business lot while it is open. Adventure Awaits. There's a V-neck tee that no longer has a visible seam on the shoulder when worn by Sims downloaded from the gallery. Imaginary friends will no longer reset and disappear from the relationship panel after returning from another lot. Custom venues will now save roles and schedules with a custom role containing a romantic orientation criteria. Issue was resulting in a case of save corruption. Yeah, we talked about that one already. Werewolves fixed an issue where werewolf offspring of werewolves had black textures and no pelts upon aging to teens. Wow, that issue was still in the game, but in a different way. Our fix should apply a texture to any werewolf sim who is lacking one upon entering cast, and should address old instances of this occurring. And then with multiple packs, fix all reports of the camera being obstructed by trees in gallery preview views of the lots. Wow. This is one that I never thought they would fix. I was like, okay, yeah, it's The Sims 4. It is what it is. So, okay, I'm sure builders will be pretty pleased with that one. Maids and butlers will now once again try to mop puddles instead of vacuuming them fruitlessly for hours. We assure you, they were trying their best. We appreciate your patience. The cast and Bilbo tagging updates. Yeah, so this is a very, very long section here. For the sake of time, I'm not going to go over every single fix individually. That would take way too long. But to go over some of the main stuff, the lump of clay now sorts as a kid's activity and also sorts in the creative skills section. It's also being updated to provide creativity skill for children's sims. I thought it did this already, but then again, I don't play with the clay that often. There's some plants that have been recategorized. Most of them are just now like considered indoor plants that are being touched here. One is going to be considered no longer as an indoor plant for like komorebi shrubs from Snowy Escape. The shoe racks are now under the storage miscellaneous category. They've done a lot of resorting of hairs, so they now appear under categories that make sense, like this braided ponytail now sort as afro textured, like that sort of thing. There's this cats and dogs object, the stack of books. It now functions as a bookshelf, so that's pretty neat. And they've also recategorized some lights, so they appear in the off the grid lighting category. And yeah, there's Horse Ranch. All the facial hairs that came with that expansion have been sorted into their respective beards and mustache subcategories. Yeah, there we go. The komorebi shrubbery no longer sorts as an indoor plant. With Love Struck, the makeup from that pack will now appear for cold and hot weather outfits as an option. From a Magic, there's 3 lights from that game pack that are going to be in the off-the-grid lighting category. There was an item from Dream Home Decorator that's being removed from the skirt subcategory and being added to the shorts subcategory and is also under hot weather wear. The Holiday Celebration pack is even getting a fix. Like that free pack from just a few months after the base game first released. So yeah, the String of Snowflakes lights is being added to the lighting category. It's just so weird how often they miss things like that, where it's like, what? What do you mean that wasn't in the lighting category to begin with? I don't know. There's like a typo that's being fixed, functional off the grid 10. All the makeup from the Goth Galore kit will appear under cold and hot weather wear. There is one item from the Autumn Apparel kit that is now going to be sorted as a masculine fashion choice. They're also mentioning some top voted issues that they're working on fixing in the future. So console crashing after update 2.13 has become their current community top issue. Actively investigating, been looking into create a sim, turn on, turn offs lacking numbers, and the like/dislike button, and feel hopeful about this being fixed in a future update. Yeah, that's a weird one. So there's yeah, like now those buttons are missing. Apparently they can still be clicked on. It's just that like it's less obvious to see because it's just messed up now. So yeah, they're working on fixing that one. And eyelids not closing completely being an issue, being actively investigating, and is proven rather complex. We're continuing our efforts. Man, only The Sims when you have an issue like this. Actively investigating partnered Sims turning into siblings, and believe, though if not verified, it may be related to gameplay around adoption, have science baby, and cast generated offspring, but still haven't found reproduction steps, and have expanded our investigation to include mods. This time, haven't determined to fix any saves that exist shortly prior to this occurring could really assist our efforts and can be shared in the linked forum thread. Wow, that's a pretty messed up issue of this game, man. We're actively investigating a variety of different fixes for the issues in this thread concerning Sims obsessively using certain objects. So yeah, pretty broad one. Like the computer, yeah, that's always been a thing. Play the woohoo thumbs up game. Yeah, I think it's the one from Love Struck. Radios, cross-stitch, spaceship, yoga mat, meditation stool. Okay, that is basically it for this laundry list. Very long for sure. It's just like, I'm sounding like a broken record at this point. I just wish they had put this much effort years ago. The game would definitely be in a much better place now if they had taken this sort of action much earlier, and all this transparency as well. And yeah, even to the point where they're even already including stuff that will hopefully be on the next laundry list, which we'll probably get in February. But like, yeah, a lot of, I mean, this list is definitely inflated by a lot of like, okay, recategorizing things into things that make more sense. But that is good. They are fixing a couple of save corruption cases, especially that one with like objects still remaining out in the world, but were just invisible. And that wraps up another Sims info and thoughts video. So feel free to let me know your thoughts on this laundry list in the comment section below. And be sure to check out my Animal Crossing video that I uploaded yesterday, where I played the game for the first time in nearly 4 years, because that video is more entertaining and funny than this one, and deserves more views than whatever this video is going to get. And be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.